View back in action, and there's one woman on The View that just cannot seem to understand how it is ever possible that Tim Walz didn't win that debate the other night. Of course, overwhelmingly, America decided that there was no chance in HELL that anyone other than Vance won that thing. It was pretty obvious to anyone who watched it, and that was in part because, well, you see, you get two people dealing with two very different intellects. One is smart, one is not. And I think we know which is which, okay? One went to a very good school, pulled himself up from the bootstraps, and has made something of himself, wrote a best-selling novel, kind of is just a full-on articulate human being, a former attorney, part of the JAG program. He actually went to Afghanistan. Well, America decided, take a look at that. Who performed better in the vice presidential debate? The answer was overwhelmingly J.D. Vance, but don't tell Sonny Hostin on The View that.
Well, that was the craziest part, because no answer is an answer, right? And I think Walz was the clear winner. I'm surprised that some polls are saying something different. He was in command of the facts. He was in command of policies. He was civil. He was kind. He was willing to admit he made a mistake. On the other hand...
Wow. Okay, he made a mistake. You know, when he made a mistake, that was actually sort of a moment where he admitted that he lied. I actually thought of that as like one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen in a debate, because it showed just exactly how weak he really is. He full on admitted that he lied. He just kind of didn't know where he was going and basically said, well, you know, I misspoke. And of course the moderator left it at there. But Sonny didn't. Sonny had to keep on going.
J.D. Vance refused to admit that Trump lost the 2020 election. He is an election denier. That, in my view, makes him not only unfit, but disqualifies him from the very office for which he is running for.
Okay, we're going to get back to that in the beginning in just a bit, but just remember in the beginning what she had to say. So Sonny Hostin, ladies and gentlemen,
that
not
was
understanding.
The craziest part, because no answer is an answer, right? And I think Walz was the clear winner. I'm surprised that some polls are saying something different. He was in command of the facts. He was in command of policies. He was civil. He was kind. He was willing to admit he made a mistake. On the other hand, J.D.
Yeah, he lied. That was the mistake. He lied. You know, it's amazing because actually all of the media saw something else. I mean, Sonny's in her own little Sonny view of the world, right? And that Sonny view of the world is not actually in sync with even the legacy media. Like even CNN was coming out saying, yeah, clearly one guy was better than the other. You had the New York Times issue a headline saying that Vance won the night. I mean, everyone was in agreement. So everyone except for Sonny. I want to show you what CNN had to say.
I think there was a clear lack of preparation and execution here on Walz's part.
I think actually it's the opposite. I think he had too much preparation.
Maybe,
He
yeah.
had so many lines that he was clearly trying to say that he didn't listen and said when J.D. Vance said one of the many things he really hit Kamala Harris on, not Tim Walz, but Kamala Harris, he didn't respond because he clearly had things in his mind. I think the lack of interviews that he has done with national media, with local media, it showed. He needed more reps.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, J.D. Vance is much more experienced at this, at public speaking, at defending himself, at pivoting.
Okay, so we can go with that. You can blame it on that. I'm going to just actually blame it on pure raw intelligence. I think one person is far more skilled than the other, and that would be J.D. Vance. Super impressive night from him. But don't tell the ladies on The View that, right? They can't give him credit for anything. One of the things that really struck me, too, about the evening was that we had only heard sort of snippets in the mainstream media about J.D. Vance. So they went with the cat lady thing. They kind of misquoted him, took him out of context in various different ways. And this was the first chance that America really had to sit down and listen to him in his entirety. And what they came away with was, wow, this is a very smart guy who's very steeped in policy, who's not going to back down, even when, Margaret Brennan from CBS is trying to go after him and say, I'm shutting your mic off. Like, he just wouldn't back down. And he made a real point to clarify the issue. And I think that people respected that. So it's driving The View absolutely crazy.